Hello and welcome everybody from Canada. Have you ever wanted to win the Monaco Millions? These are just fun chips. So we'll talk a little bit about these chips, but first we need to play a hand. A hand of, if it's almost poker but not quite, welcome to YouTube. We're just gonna say this is our pot right here. Look at this, 5, 10, and 25. Anybody who's ever played a 5-10 game knows that it doesn't stop at 25. It's like 5, 10, 5,000 or 1,000. It gets out of hand pretty quick. All right, let's throw in a bunch of these. Yeah, all right, good. Let's just say that's good. I didn't even look to see if that's realistic, but close enough. Today we are playing with some, chips from Canada. So I thought we would play a Polish, is that Polish brand? Plastic playing card? Because when I think of Canada, I think of whatever. Let's just play, all right? So we're going to shuffle. There's always somebody who asks. I call this a weave shuffle. Other people call it other names. I know. I've actually heard this called the reverse weave. So, and I don't. Do people go that way? I can, but I generally feel more comfortable going like that. Anyway, we are going to. Thank you, Poker Chip Forum, Tommy, for providing this table topper and some cut cards. All right, I paid for these chips with my own money, just by way of disclosure. You know how it is, FCC regulations and stuff. Everybody, if you haven't already, pause the video, go grab your deck, shuffle up, deal yourself 2 cards. We're playing Texas Hold'em, a YouTube variant of Texas Hold'em where there are no betting cycles. We're just playing to see how the chips do. See, that's how they're out of focus. That's what you're trying to win, but you're focused on your cards, right? That's how things work here. I might as well sneak a peek today. And I'm playing against Jane Doe, who I just really love it when she dominates face. All right, so we are going to flop. And I can tell you right now, because there are no betting cycles, that I'm doing really, really well. Even though I never would, this hand unlikely would ever have made it past the first betting cycle because after the flop, because I never would have even seen the flop because I would have folded 6-5 off and never got that boat. So even if she does have the flush here, oh yes, how does that feel? Yeah, how does that feel, Jane Doe? Oh, who has the better cards now? Realistically, I don't think either one of those hands would have ever made it to the flop. Pre-flop action. All right, we need to get this out of here. So let's talk a little bit about this. So these were ordered from, hang on a second, I'm opening up my phone. These were ordered from a website called sorry, it wasn't my phone, it's on my laptop. straightpokersupplies.com. Maybe I'll put in a screenshot or something while I'm fumbling around. And it is a Canadian company and they ship to the US. I live in Wisconsin, which is as close as you can be to the United States without actually leaving Canada. It's right. Wisconsin? All right, yeah, all right. So we have these Monaco Millions and these stood out to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's talk about what we're looking at here. So these chips were originally designed by, I think it was Clay Smith, and they put a bunch of different inlays in here. So this is a very normal chip. This chip is probably 10 years old, this design. They're still flashing around the edges. I'm not sure if that's going to show up on camera, but right here you can see the flashing. Flashing is just excess material, like when they mold it or when they cast these plastic chips. It's just extra plastic from the mold. It does present a sharp edge, okay? I've discussed this in other videos. You can, abrade those off, and lots of the modern chips will get that abraded off. So just so you know, it's kind of an older design with kind of an old feel, plasticky feel to it. And again, lots of times they're sold as clay chips. Clay is a very common additive to plastic. They feel, to me, plastic, and they have a metal slug in there, okay? So you're looking at a metal slug, ABS, with possible clay mixed into it, chip, sold from a Canadian company with their own proprietary label here, Monaco Millions, which looks great, right? It looks like a cross between a large tournament and a lottery. It's like Mega Millions, Monaco Millions, but it's Monaco. It sounds cool. I don't know. I like it. This is the one that jumped out to me first when I looked on their website, so I ordered these first. Just a Claysmith chip with a interesting label. So let's talk about how they feel. I am going to weigh them first, and then we can talk about some of my other things I like or dislike. Yes, that was a shoelace. I replaced my shoelaces with like the laceless, the tieless, like elastic things. So on my dress shoes, I don't have these big knots kicking around. Anyway, subject for a separate video. Off the table video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 10? Yeah, that's 10. So this is going to give us the average. So we're expecting 12.5 grams of chip. All right. Let's see how accurate that is. Yeah, 12.5. Right on. Let's check the 10, see if the blue. Sometimes these dyes are a little heavier. Yeah, see, look, 12.7. It's probably just variance in the metallic slug in the middle. That's probably what it is. 12.8, even heavier. All right. And I'm expecting them to be 39 millimeters. We have some digital calipers here. 0 millimeters. And there's that flashing edge, which bothers me. So maybe a little bit more than 39 millimeters. Oh yeah, this one's pushing 40 millimeters. So plenty of material if you wanted to polish those off. It sounds like I'm eating Twinkies or something. Are you going to polish those off? Okay, so we have our weights and measures. 40 millimeter chips running about 12.5 grams. They sound fine. Let's see how they shuffle. I'm looking, does it matter how we do this? So they feel, I can feel the sharp edges when I grab them like this, and they're a little sticky. So that didn't shuffle as smoothly as I would have liked. But for the price, I mean, it's kind of what you expect, with a little bit of wear and tear, and polishing these, flashing this extra material off would present a smoother chip. And for this price range, this for a long time was the norm. Now it's kind of less so. It's harder to find chips with flashing on them still. I guess if you get on Amazon or places. But as far as I could, and I want to make it clear that the vendor, the Straight Poker Supplies, they offer a lot of chips that don't have flashing. Like they offer some with the trapezoid, Milano, China clay material, which don't have flashing, and they offer ceramics. There's tons of things on there, but this just jumped out to me because I thought it was a really inexpensive chip with, you know, an interesting, unique design that you're just not going to find everywhere. So, oh, by the way, just so you know, the company was fine. Like I ordered the chips, didn't disclose who I was, and they arrived fine. I had no problem with the website or no problem with the purchasing. It seemed fine. So, that said, what do you think of these chips? Now, for me, these chips, I always liked the design, but I never really liked the feel. However, for the price, we can forgive the feel. Because when I'm playing, like with friends and stuff, and family a lot of times, lots of times it's not for, we're not actually playing for cash or money. It's just, you know, kids are like, teach me how to play poker, uncle, you know, and you're just like, oh, all right, let's go, you know, and you sit down and you teach some hands and stuff and how it all works. And we just need chips for that or throw around on the table, you know. And my son plays Pokemon, and so he always wants, he likes using these as damage counters. And so there you go, you know, it's like, am I really, I've been doing this for how many years? 7 years, more than 7 years now? I don't even know. And 2013, wow, has it been 9 years? And there comes a point where, yes, I'm a snob when it comes to certain things, but when you're getting to this cheaper chip range, it's pretty much just what you like visually. For me, anyway, like I'm so used to feeling chips with flashing on them, it's not going to stop me from enjoying a game of poker. You know, I've sat down and, you know, when I travel, like I was in Georgia, recently. My patrons have seen pictures of me down there doing various things. And I, sit down at a friend's house, and they have their poker chips, and they show me. They're like, hey, look at my poker chips. And I feel them in there. I'm like, oh yeah, these are not great. These are not spectacular, but they will do fine if you're going to sit down and play a game with them. See, here's a lot of excess material. Speaking of flashing, you see all this material right here. Again, it's so easy for this to come off. I made a video about that. Like, one of my viewers actually said you can take, what was it, like some sort of like rougher cloth, and you can just like spin your poker chips across them. I'm not going to do that on my tabletopper here. And then it will actually like polish those off. So pretty interesting. So Monaco Millions, like I said, I knew exactly what I was going to get when I got these, because I have clay. You can go back and watch my video catalog. I have Claysmith chips, and I complain about the flashing, and they're not perfectly flat, and the label, but the labels are attached. These are pretty flat, actually. You can see there's some sway there, but pretty good. I mean, I would say above average for a Metal Slug ABS chip. The labels seem well applied. There's no risk of these things coming out. So they're fine. But yeah, so I knew exactly what I was getting, and I got exactly what I expected. See, here's a label that is outside. So see how there's all the space. Let's see if we can get this to focus. So there's all the space right here, and then it overhangs. And that's what causes a lot of the lack of flatness. And sometimes these things catch things and will come off. It feels like it's going to come off, but it hasn't yet. There we go. Got it. Oh, this is what I live for. That's for you. It's for my viewers. To show you how permanently, these are on pretty good. Okay, now see I've damaged the edge. You could probably have done that with a knife or something and been more exacting, not just some Neanderthal like I am. Let's see if we can recenter this. There you go. Good as new. Nobody can ever tell that I recentered that label. Look at how pristine that is. Good job. It's almost like I do this for a living. The other thing that I like about Metal Slug ABS chips is I've never been able to break one, because they are rock solid. Like, if you've watched some of my China clay videos, did I bend that one? With my China clay videos, sometimes I can just break those in my hands. It's still flat. Beautiful. Let me know your thoughts. Monaco Millions, I think they're very average. They're what you expect at this price range. Just to be aware that there is flashing if you don't like it and you're willing to manually yourself polish it off, do it. Otherwise, steer clear if the flashing bothers you. Like I said, most people probably won't mind. Maybe some people won't even notice. And the weight's fine, 12.5. It might be a little on the heavy side compared to like Las Vegas style Paulson chips that you would find at the Aria or the Bellagio. But I mean, they have a good weight to them. So nothing to complain about. They're not overly heavy, and they seem like 40 millimeter chip seems fine. So I mean, very average. You can get them if you like the look of them. The Canadian, that Straight Poker Supplies is a reasonable place to get them if you're in Canada or even in the US. I mean, they ship to the US. I got mine just fine. As usual, I'd like to give a big thank you to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I offer general support. I post a few behind the scenes pictures and videos, studio tours, stuff like that. It's just a room in my house. You can see all my equipment. Another way you can support my channel is you can visit my Amazon shop. I have some poker-related products on my Amazon shop. I am an Amazon affiliate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe.